Pusha got all the big spades, bro. He got the big joker, the baby joker, the deuce of diamonds, the deuce of spades. He got all that shit. He got it. Yep, I'm gonna kill everything you put on it. Yep.
Give me that book.
He killing everything, bro.
This is hilarious.
I thought he was the coolest person in the situation. Just the way, like, in the whole conversation, he was like, I'm built like this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's nothing you can say about me. Like, it's not you.
Dead in Hip Hop, Ken, Myke, B, Feefo. I appreciate you guys watching. Your patrons.
You know what I'm saying? You got the.
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say him this time.
Kid always forget about.
You know.
Nah. Producer extraordinaire Khan of the Is the Mic Still On podcast. And this conversation we're having today is like part 2. It's an extension of that because if you listen to episode 92, Myke and Feefo were going back and forth about Drake's interview on The Shop that he did with LeBron James. I didn't watch it like when it first dropped. When you guys were talking about it, I haven't seen the interview, but I actually watched the interview after Pusha T went on Joe Budden to tell his side of the story, which is what we're talking about today.
Drake was mainly harping on the whole reason why he hasn't responded. He was basically trying to say that he didn't want to go too far because at some point, the rules have been broken and the lines have been crossed. Then he was saying how he was going at Kanye because Kanye gave all of this information to Pusha. That was really what I took from the whole Drake interview. I don't think he really dropped any secrets or any gems.
So Pusha went on Joe Budden's podcast to respond and say where he got the information from. Which, before I listened to it, I just listened to it, this morning at the time of, this recording. So this is fresh. I got questions, that I pulled from it. And so all I saw this week when it dropped, and it was 3.5 hours long, by the way.
It was?
Yes.
I mean, I know his podcast alone.
Nah, it was.
But this thing was.
But it was with Pusha T that long?
Yes. He was there the whole time. So earlier this week, all I saw was he got the information from 40. He got the information from 40. 40 was the snitch. So I'm like, damn, that's kind of messed up. But then when I heard the interview, what people were not saying on Twitter was that it was pillow talk. 40 was talking to some girl, lady he was messing with, or maybe his girl, and he revealed all that stuff to her. The biggest reveal that I got out of this is like, 40 feels some kind of way about Drake. So I thought, for me, that was the most interesting part out of that.
Fuck.
So.
This happened later because I turned it off after about 2 hours. I think I can't watch it more.
No, this was when this was actually when they got into it. Have you guys changed your position at all any since?
Well, what was your position, I guess? So do you remember what your position was? Because it was kind of, because I heard that episode because I wasn't here.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, it sounded like I was on the same page at one point, and then at some point it sounded like
I was saying that Drake needed to respond, and that I wouldn't have nobody, regardless if it's even the person that brought me into the game or whatever, that I would have said what I had to say.
Jay Prince, you talking about
Jay Prince, right? Like even though he deaded the diss track, I still would have said what I had to say because if I felt that strongly, then like we've been saying, there are no rules, but obviously Drake is trying to restrict himself. I just think that was his talking point. But let's be honest, we're 4 hip hop guys. There are no rules, and especially B made the point today on the podcast that Drake started it by mentioning your fiance.
That's
so
I was like,
by name.
By name.
Yeah.
If you go in there, then let's do it.
Okay,
Let's do it. Yeah.
And then if Drake has something that can end their career or hurt or do something like that, then
you got lucky. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, but they should. They prove everybody. And or prove it to yourself, because you can't just be talking about my people like that. You can't be talking about my situations like that. If I got some shit on you, that's just.
He didn't want to though.
But I know, of course he didn't want to.
The thing that I have the biggest problem with Drake is Drake's not built for this. That's the first issue.
Yep.
And second issue, which I think we already went over on the podcast, but I don't think that he has the right to assume that he can just walk in and change rules.
And
just because you don't understand the rules doesn't mean the rules don't exist.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's whack that we all grew up with this beef shit.
Right.
We grew up with condoms on baby seats. We grew up with all of this shit. We grew up with I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker.
You got sickle cell.
Yeah, that's why you got sickle cell. We grew up with that. Drake didn't necessarily grow up with that because he's quite a bit younger than us. But at that point, it's not like you can then just walk in and be like, well, you know what? Since I don't understand this, I'm gonna change it because I'm the biggest rapper in the world. Nah, bro, it's not the way it works.
Yeah, and that's what, like, because he said it, and I'm like, bro, you can't rewrite the rules like that.
Yeah.
You know, and because, you know, I heard the thing about him saying, yeah, I study battle rap and something like that, and people say, like, you acknowledge that there are no rules, but you're trying to add rules to a culture that you are part of.
What you mean you study?
And it's like, how?
Like, who studies?
Yeah.
Who studies battle rap?
A lot of people do, but
But they're not like in the way he was saying. Like
The way he said it.
It was just the way he said
because
it.
for
Like
a while he was trying to get into that industry. If y'all don't remember,
I remember.
like it didn't last very long.
Yeah.
But he was trying to get into that
Alright.
King of the Dot industry. I think that's what he meant. I didn't have a problem with him saying that. I just had a problem with him not making sense after that.
Do we need to rewrite the rules?
Not for
No.
fucking.
Not at all. What are you talking about?
Fuck out of here, bro. If that's the case, what are the rules? Like, you said shit about this man's wife who had nothing to do with this. Right, but I'm saying, like, what is Drake implying that the rules are? It's like, do the rules only apply when you get your fucking feelings hurt?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, Pusha's wife had nothing to do with this. So why are you saying her name?
Right,
You can't then cry because he fucking talked about 40.
Yeah.
Right.
And now the fact that 40 is the fucking cause of the whole shit. It's so lovely.
It's so lovely.
It's so lovely.
Yeah, so- and I bet that was gonna be a line in the song.
That was gonna be the second diss track.
Yeah, right.
So whatever he said,
Yeah.
it was gonna be in
Because
that.
remember, he like, we gonna peel this back layer by
By
layer.
layer.
Like, he was ready, man. Pusha was ready. Drake didn't want those problems.
I wish Pusha would have just put this in a song though.
I mean, I think he still has stuff though. That's what the scary
No, I do
part
too.
is. Yeah.
But
Like,
this is the
All the
biggest
stuff,
thing
yeah.
that could be. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
the biggest shit because at this point, Drake has attacked Kanye over what he thought Kanye did.
Yeah.
And now it comes out,
It's your
Kanye
man.
didn't do it. So now,
Right.
do you apologize?
Right.
Like, what do you do?
Has Kanye said anything yet?
Nah.
He over there with Trump, man.
Yeah, right. Kanye's trying to get Trump to kick Drake out the country.
Right.
Kanye's trying to get a wall built around Canada.
Kanye ain't said shit about that, man.
because-
He over there giving Trump a hug.
Wait, I was
He's mad
asking.
because Drake talked about fucking, Drake implied that he fucked Kim Kardashian.
What Kiki's supposed to be about.
Yeah.
So he's
So-
mad about that.
Kanye's been quiet this whole time. There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. This whole Drake thing, he hasn't said much.
But Pusha also like hinted at this weird relationship that they have.
Right.
So it's almost like it's not surprising that Kanye isn't saying anything because, you know, they got this, as he called it, a bromance, right? To the point where, and this what got me, that Pusha can't even be around Drake. Like, he makes him leave the day before Drake got there and didn't even tell him anything about it. He said he didn't know until the day after. He was like, "Oh, Drake's there?" I was like, "Wow, that was crazy to me."
too.
So, did you guys feel like the shop was biased?
The who?
Shop?
The shop.
Shop?
LeBron.
I
feel like
think
it was.
bullshit. And I like LeBron. I don't know anything about him as a basketball player, of course. I don't care. As a personality, I like him. I do kind of think that he's a little full of shit. Because I remember when Pusha's album came out, like there were all these videos circling around where he's working out
To his
with
album.
Daytona,
Yeah.
playing in the background.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, but now
He
you
was.
want to backlight Drake and make this big dramatic. He's talking about my best friend. Like, that's just not cool.
But he wasn't really asking the questions though.
It was the other guy.
It was yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't helping either though. It was very one-sided. It was very one-sided.
It was. I don't think LeBron was honest about any of that. Because if LeBron is about hip hop the way he acts like he was, then when Drake said that bullshit about rules, LeBron should have been like, no, there's no
Yeah, he kind
rules.
of co-signed it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I think it was bullshit. Like, I don't
The only thing he did say is that the hip hop fan in me wanted you to diss him.
But then,
He did,
but then
he
he also
did.
said you didn't disappoint me. It was
Exactly. It was just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I said, why Pusha T talking about that whole situation? How like, when he started talking, the light kind of lit up on Drake. Light lit up on Drake. And yeah, I know it was like
corny.
it was so corny. Like the light, it was all dramatic. The light lit up on him. He was talking. Well, yeah, you know, he talked about 40.
It made it seem like the whole thing was scripted.
Yeah.
And the way he said it was, he was, and I think Pusha was like, yeah, it was well produced. That's like this dude here, man. Another thing that I think Joe pointed out, and I want to get you guys' take on this. If you switch genders, they would say that they're being messy. So is this situation, are Drake, Kanye, and Pusha, is this messy?
Yeah, they are literally going at each other in a way where it's like somebody like I say this, it's more messy from Drake's side. To me, it became more messy with the comment where he's like, you know, you can't say that was too far. To me, that's when it became more messy because of the fact that it's like you only said that because you lost.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's the only reason why you said that. Mm-hmm. And if he would have won, then he would have never. He would
have been on his Meek Mill shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's just funny because if you really think about it, person who's being the most sensitive about this whole situation is Drake, because he had to go to LeBron to talk about the whole situation. And he was talking about, you know, I really had this connection with Kanye, and you know, I told him all the things that are going on with me, and he went out there, he told everybody about what was going on in my personal life, and like he was whining, like he really saw he was whining the whole time, and I've never heard that come from somebody who's like who's on like a
you're gonna get punched where you smacked in the face or some shit.
You have to get punched in the face for what you said about Fortin. Who's gonna do it? You're not. Right. You won't even fucking write a song. Right. So go sit down somewhere. Right. I'm not saying Drake don't have goons.
That was, to me, that was the funniest part. It was like a portion of the interview was him like really sensitive, and then when he got to the portion of the interview when he started talking about like, but I did have another record ready to go. You know, like if dude came at me sideways, I was ready to go. Like,
do anybody believe that this record exists?
Yes.
No, you do. You do.
You think it exists?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You think it exists?
Yeah,
I do think the track is this. Yeah.
It ain't career ending.
This thing is all the way messy, mainly because of Drake. Like, you even have this career-ending song to the wrong motherfucker. You still?
Oh, was he saying it was about Kanye?
Yeah.
Did he specifically say that though?
That's what Jay Prince said. Everybody that has listened to this, and even Drake himself, said that this was about Kanye. So it's like this whole thing was just misguided, misdirected.
He's trying to redirect the energy to Kanye in a sense.
Because he felt Kanye was the one that
he was the source.
So now is he gonna diss 40?
No, I think he's directing it at Kanye because he thought he could win against Kanye.
Right, exactly.
He knows he can't win against Pusha.
Exactly.
But even the thing that makes it so
he was trying to
though,
avoid Pusha.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like you go into a fight and the guy is way bigger than you, so you punch his like smaller friend.
Right.
That's what he's trying to do because he knows Kanye's not going to fight back. Kanye's never been a diss guy.
No, not at all.
And the thing about it is that's so stupid. You're talking about you have a career-ending song for a motherfucker that can't even kill his own career.
Right.
So what are you talking about?
Right. It's nothing you can say. It's nothing you can say to make like, ooh, like
right.
it's nothing.
Nothing.
What made what Pusha did so great in hindsight, because we didn't know any of this was going on. We didn't know any of this was playing around. We knew about the tweet, but he was surgical about that. He was like, yeah, there's a tweet, there's a hit out for info.
But did you take it seriously? I didn't.
I did.
The tweet?
Yeah.
About the $100?
Yeah, I thought he was being a jackass. I didn't think he was being serious.
No, I thought he was serious. I think he was getting ahead of it. Just trying to let people know. Because one of the things he said, it was like, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. He said what happens behind the scenes is what end up hurting you in the end. So that's why he wanted to be like, look, this dude is paying to get information on me because he has no information on me. All alone knowing where, and he just let Drake just stew and direct his energy to Ye and all this other stuff, knowing all along where he got it, and he's just making Drake look like a fool. And Drake done went out and did this interview with LeBron.
Yep.
And then
Added to it.
And just added to it, saying this all, and then
how you think
went on Joe Budden and was like, so here's what really happened.
It's calculated.
He won again.
He basically killed the whole LeBron interview because it was like none of that shit matters.
Well, he was calculated with this beat.
Very. In his responses.
He was like, I'm ready for anything. Ask me anything. He was so cool. The funny part about that whole interview was just how Joe's reaction to the whole
Joe was loving it.
Like, you a psychopath,
Joe was loving it.
You too straightforward with these answers, man. You're a psychopath, man.
Joe loved it, man.
Ready,
Joe was loving it.
The way that beef is now, as the way that beef changed, because Drake Meek Mill turned into diss tracks, social media memes. This is Drake Pusha T, and it's turned into diss track.
Interviews.
Now we're gonna do interviews and we're gonna go to the media. You know, it seems like there's been an extension or an addendum added to rap beef?
Because of the era that we're in. Because you could literally do this shit right here, go on IG Live, Facebook Live, and be able to say and do everything, and your entire fan base can consume it. And not only can they consume it while it's live, people are recording the shit and putting it out there on YouTube afterwards. So even if you try to delete it or hide it or whatever, there's still a record. I think that for now, especially like when I think we're talking Drake level artists, there are gonna be interviews. There are gonna be other things that are gonna be done outside of just the diss tracks. Like I think we just live in that era that we are consumed by content. And I think as long as you could, because we said it with MGK, right? Like it was smart for him to ride that wave and to put out music and to talk about it, to do this and to do that.
I disagree with you a little bit. I don't think the beef has changed. I think that you just have people that don't really understand like the ins and outs and the inner workings and all that shit of how this really works. Like, I don't think Drake really understands like how this shit is supposed to go down.
Yeah, because these new rappers are built differently.
Well, that,
but Pusha is not a new rapper though.
No. But think about it. Pusha only did an interview because Drake did.
True.
Pusha, that's what I'm trying to say. Pusha would have done a song if Drake did a song.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I said these new rappers are built. I'm not saying Push is built different.
Drake is the new rapper.
Yeah, the new rapper and everything that has happened. Like, think about it, because both times with Drake and these beefs, like the beefs have gone so differently from how beefs used to go. You know what I mean? Like, he had a pop song, like this turned into a pop song, and because of social media is a part of this now, like we was able to meme it and everything. Don't get me wrong, like
the Meek Mill was standard beef. The Meek Mill was
no, but what I'm saying is,
but Drake won social media.
We had, that's what I'm saying, like social media.
Drake won the tracks.
Like
against Meek.
But there was a big meme push too that happened.
Okay, meme is why Drake won. Drake won because Meek Mill's comebacks were bad.
But yeah, to your point, like the newer rappers, the Drake, you know, in other words, he couldn't release a diss track, so he did an interview. And he tried to basically control the narrative that way.
Right.
And it backfired. And Pusha T was just in waiting, not saying anything, and just letting Drake just listen to all of the people talk about how he lost and this, other, and he wanted to put this out and he couldn't, so he tried to go on there and he failed.
But see, that's the thing that bugs me about this shit. Is Drake is sitting here saying that he has this career-ending song and he just won't drop it. How is that really any different from you going on LeBron's show talking shit?
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
Like, just drop the fucking song. But now, Pusha T has even killed that. He killed his Adidas line. He killed his coming out party with his kid. Yeah. And now he's killed this song that hasn't even come out. Like, Pusha is like so, like 2 or 3 steps ahead of Drake with everything. That it's just like, what does Drake do at this point? Drake should just come out and say, you won.
Yeah, honestly, he should have just let it. He never should have let it go.
Yeah, he's a man.
He should have never did the interview.
But just say you won. Yeah. You will not look as stupid as you look. And before y'all get into Drake got more money, go sit the fuck down, because this conversation ain't for you. Because if you think it's all about, Drake has more money than Pusha, so therefore Drake wins, this conversation is not for you. No disrespect, but y'all don't understand beef then. But Drake should just be like, look, bro, you won. You got me. You got me. Yo, let's move on.
So anyway, man, that's it, man. We just wanted to.
Oh wait, where's Drake? Well, I was gonna ask, what does Drake do? No. What do you? Because I said he
just said. What do you think? You should just let it go. You gotta let it go. This.
He just not say anything.
Yeah. What does that mean? Let it go. Yeah.
No. He
can't not say anything. He can't.
But you already put it out there. Pusha's like 3 steps ahead of Drake.
That's why I think he should say something. He should say what? Say you won. We're done. But even
if he says nothing, that's what he's saying.
Nah, it ain't.
What do you mean?
Because I think
he's conceding.
Because people are gonna keep bringing it up.
The 40 thing is damaging.
Wait, did 40 say something? Did 40 say anything?
Hell no, 40 ain't said shit. Drake canceled this.
So he hasn't even said that's not true?
Look, Drake gonna follow him.
40 hasn't even said like that ain't true or whatever.
Yep. No, look, Drake gonna pull like one of them old punk bitch moves and announce that he's unfollowing 40.
Right. But you would think though, like if that's your man, you would kind of step up and defend your man's if it's true. You know what I'm saying?
Like 40 didn't necessarily do anything necessarily wrong.
Right.
I wouldn't play this game. I wouldn't tell no chick nothing about y'all.
Right.
I don't think 40 necessarily did anything wrong. He just got caught simping. That's the way I look at it.
No, I'm not saying he did anything wrong.
I know.
I'm just saying like he hasn't come out and said like, yo, that ain't true.
Because he can't.
Yeah.
Because it is true. I'm saying
Joe
Drake
Budden had
should be
to
the one to
record.
be like, yo, it's over. You won. I fucked up, me and 40. He should make a joke out of it.
Because you know, if 40 tries to deny it, do you understand this makes it even worse for Drake?
Exactly.
We talk about Pusha's like 3 steps, 4 steps ahead. He be 30 steps ahead.
He's just waiting like,
Yeah, he's just waiting
on
on
you to say it ain't true.
Exactly.
Just say it ain't true.
Of course he does.
You can tell by his demeanor in the interview. You can tell Pusha got some more
And
shit
if he
in there.
reveals that source and puts it in the track or just has an interview about it, and 40 denies this, oh my god, like that whole OVO camp. You know how I always say like Drake is too big to fail? Oh, this shit might hurt him. This shit might that shit might crumble that shit down, bro.
He's already hurt anyway. Drake is
Yeah, he is, but musically, let's be honest. His position in music hasn't changed.
No.
However, 40 denies this shit and Pusha reveals the true source.
Yeah.
I don't think that Drake's career would be over without 40. It might hurt a little bit, but with the money that Drake has, the connections that Drake has, he can contact anyone. Literally anyone on the face of the
Sometimes you
universe.
just have a chemistry with certain people.
That's
man.
fine, but Drake can create a new chemistry because he don't write his own shit anyway. All he has to do, is go call somebody else. I'm just saying. I got more faith in Drake than y'all got, apparently.
Okay, I see.
He should definitely hit up Ye and apologize.
He definitely,
Yeah,
publicly.
definitely.
Yeah, I think he should do it publicly, be like, yo, my fault.
That's
I
some grown
fucked
man
up.
shit. Yep.
Slap the shit out of 40 a couple times,
Yep.
and just say, hey, man, look, I fucked up. Pusha, it's done. And we're over.
Drake's probably somewhere crying.
But he'll look better as a person. if
No,
he
I'm
did
just
that.
saying, but I'm just thinking, just in general, like after he got that information,
he cried in the
He
car.
cried. You know he cried.
cried, bro.
He was like, "This is your best friend, bro. Like that you was defending, like you was going to bat."
Does anybody else take a shot at Drake? Like, is this
Leave
open?
Drake alone.
Just- I'm just
he's
saying.
already buried at this point, bro. He's buried.
Drake's beef thing is done. Drake can't engage in beef anymore.
You're just beating the dead horse at this point.
He should just do
keep
like
it up.
what you said, just keep writing hits, and then
Yep.
that's you.
If people are throwing darts, Drake should just avoid it.
Yep.
Altogether.
Yep.
So Drake
Like
should
Neo.
not. So Drake should not. He should not get in the middle of any types of beef,
No.
even if people calling him out.
No.
Regardless.
Why?
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm just
Because
asking.
all it's gonna come back to like, yeah, you say that shit to
I feel you.
That's how they sound to you. He said should have. We keep that same energy.
right.
All right, man. Well, you guys let us know, man. You've heard Drake. You've heard, 14, 15 minutes of Drake. And you heard 3.5 hours of Pusha T. How y'all feel, man? Let us know in the comment section. We out. Peace.